Hey guys, it's Miracle, making miracles happen. Today I'm doing something very different. I'm doing a story time. I've never done a story time before, but I've always kind of wanted to because I watch so many story times on YouTube. That's one of the only things I watch. And I have some stories that I'd like to tell y'all that I think are pretty great. So yeah. So because of the title of the video, you probably already know what this story time is going to be about. So yeah, let's just start it with some backstory. So this was in grade 12. So it was a year or two ago. How old am I now? You know, it was grade 12 and I was I don't really care about school that much anymore. I'm graduating this year, whatever, who cares? And my whole life I was a really good student. I didn't really start skipping. Once in a while I would, honestly, but I didn't start skipping a lot until grade 11, 12, mostly 12. Alright, phone call, back into the video. So yeah, I was a really good student my whole life in school. I always got A's and B's. I would always pay attention. I always did my homework. You know, I was a good student, okay? So this year in grade 12, I had biology with one of my best friends, and it was gonna be pretty cool because we had this teacher, and I had her in grade 8 or 9 or something, and she was really chill, and it was always a really fun class, so I was pretty excited, you know. And then it was with my friend too, and it was grade 12, and I was yeah, this biology class is gonna be so fun. So yeah, I was yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I'm graduating.
But and I have a text message, wow.
So like I said, she was a pretty chill teacher, so in the classroom people would always talk and fool around, and she was okay with it as long as people got their work done. And I think for the most part most kids did get their work done, but you know, there's always those kids who just do nothing, you know. And you know, I would always talk to my friend, and I would talk to people and laugh and stuff, because it was the whole class would do that as long as we didn't get too rowdy, you know. So this one time I was done my work, because how we would go was we would take notes at the beginning of class, and then people would work, and then you always sat in pairs. So me and my friend sat together, obviously, and then you can work with your friend and talk to your friend, and you guys can work together and help each other and everything. So this one day, I don't know, it wasn't a hard assignment, it was just a simple worksheet. And then a lot of people were done pretty early. So I was done my work, and then the bell was gonna ring in basically 5 minutes. So I was okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna pack my stuff up because the bell's gonna ring in 5 minutes. And apparently this teacher does not a lot of teachers, I guess, don't like it when you pack your stuff up early, but I didn't know that about this teacher because she was so chill all the time. So I packed my stuff up, you know how you do, my books were stacked together. I was ready to go when that bell rang, man. So yeah, and then I was done and my stuff was packed up, so I was turning around and talking to a little person behind me. And so, you know, I'm just turning around talking to this person and just chilling and talking, and then this bitch, I hear her, let's call her Mrs. Smith, I don't know, that's a basic teacher name. Mrs. Smith goes, "Mara, don't you have work to do?"
Half the class was done.
So I was I was very pleasant and happy. I was "Oh no, I'm done actually." And then she was "Oh, well, I have some more for you." And then she had extra worksheets and stuff, and then she gave me the next day's worksheet. She was "Oh, I have more for you." Then she hands it to me and goes, "Start working." I was dude, the bell's going to, at this point the bell's gonna ring any minute now, you know, you can't give me more work. And she and then I was okay. So I took the worksheet, and then I didn't open my books again because the bell was about to ring, and she was "I said start working." And she made me open my book and start filling out this damn worksheet. And then the bell rang, and I did not have my stuff together, so then I couldn't just rush out of the classroom like I wanted to. I had to stay for a few seconds after the bell and stack up all my work. First world problems. So that was one of the first times that I realized this teacher is not the same cool, laid-back teacher that she used to be. Something happened to her since I was in grade 9, and she's just she lost her chill. She's fire. She's firing up. And that was also when I realized this might not be such a fun year. So yeah, after that, she just started doing a whole bunch of bitchy shit, kind of like that. She would just get mad at me for talking. And I felt she was singling me out. The whole class would be talking and she would yell at me for talking. And I'd be like, so yeah, that really pissed me off. And then like my friend who I had this class with, like, I don't know, she was like not such a good student. Like I was like usually a really good student, but then like a lot of my friends were like, they didn't give a fuck. So yeah. So sometimes she would just like skip school, or like she wouldn't like skip any classes, she just wouldn't go to school, and then her mom was like chill, so she'd be cool with it. And then she'd either be like sick a lot or she just wouldn't want to go to school. So like sometimes my friend like wouldn't be at school and I was like, I cannot deal with this teacher shit by myself, I am not going either. So then I would skip too, because you know sometimes there's like those situations where you need your best friend by your side, and then sometimes I just didn't want to deal with this teacher by myself. Like sometimes I would go by myself, like it's no problem, like it's just a class and I knew other people, but like sometimes I just could not deal. So I would skip her class because I honestly skipped a lot.
Don't skip, stay in school.
This one time, this is like the worst, one of the worst times. Like I was like, what the hell, you are a crazy bitch. But I was having, like my mom and I call them mental health days, where like so my friend that I was just talking about had a lot of these, where like it's a mental health day and sometimes you just need to like stay at home and like take care of yourself. Even if you're like not sick, you just need like a day off from school and like everything. So I was having a mental health day, but I still had to work like after school, but I didn't go to school. So I went to work early because I basically always went to work early so that I could like get a drink and stuff. And then at the time I was dating Mitchell, so we like went to Starbucks together, because yeah, I worked at Starbucks, I don't know if I said that, but I was working at Starbucks, so we both went there early so that I could like get a drink before I started work, because you get a free drink like half an hour before your shift. So then we were just like sitting like on the patio outside like drinking some Starbucks, and then the teacher, the bitchy ass Mrs. Smith, that's what I called her, right? Well, I didn't even see her, but apparently she like drove by. So then the next day I go to school and I like get called down to the principal's office. And I go to the principal's office and he was like, where were you yesterday? And I was like, at home, because like I didn't go to school. And he's like, oh yeah, apparently too, I was marked like present for like one of my morning classes and I wasn't there. So then the teacher thought that the principal thought that I like skipped the rest of the day. And I was like, no, I didn't come to school at all yesterday. And then he says, Mrs. Smith says that at 3:04 p.m. you were at Starbucks enjoying a nice beverage with your boyfriend. And that is what she said. Like at 3:04 p.m. May 13th, Mara was enjoying a nice beverage with her boyfriend. Like, she wrote down the exact time. And my school didn't get out until like 3:09 or something like that. And I was like, why wasn't this bitch at school? She's a teacher. She should be at school teaching her classes. Like, what was she doing out, you know? And that made me like so angry. Like, so many people skipped that class and I wasn't even at school the whole day. Like, it's not even like I was just skipping that class. And she like recorded it and told the principal, and then the principal called me in, and then he was like, if you skip her class one more time, you're gonna have to have connections, which was like detention or whatever. So I was like, okay. And I was so angry. Like, I didn't even want to go to that freaking class ever again. So of course, like that day after I left the principal's office, like this class was at like the end of the day, like I think it was like after lunch or something, but like when I went to class that day, she looks at me and she goes, hi Mara, it was nice of you to show up today. I was like, my pleasure. I didn't actually say that, but I was like, yeah. And I like sat down really freaking angry at this teacher because she's a freaking psycho bitch. Like, made me so mad. So freaking mad. So many other people skip and she doesn't like track them down and tell the principal. Well, maybe she does, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Like, I've never heard of any other teacher doing that before. Like, and she didn't get mad at anybody else in the class for skipping. I know that there's a lot of people in that class who skipped. So this other time, it was this is the last little piece, okay? So I was in like school dance class, and then like at the end of the semester we would have like a dance performance, and then you would need to like you'd need to miss like all your classes to be in rehearsals. And we had like Vanier Hall in my high school, and that's where we had like our dance performances. So we'd have to be like at Vanier like the whole day, so we'd have to miss all our classes. So the dance teacher would give us a permission slip to give to all of our teachers, so that our teachers would be like, yeah, we don't have a test that day, you can skip class that day, just make sure you do this work, blah blah blah. So obviously I took that little slip to all of my teachers. Mrs. Smith signed that paper. She knew that I was going to be there. And there was other kids in the class who also gave her the same permission slip. She knew that there's a whole bunch of kids going there. She knew that I was going there. So then yeah, I go to the dance, blah blah blah. And then the next class day that I'm like there for, I'll walk in there, and then like it was like the Monday or something, because usually the dance performance were on like weekends. So I go to class, and she was like, Mara, why weren't you in class on like Friday or whatever? And I'm like, I told her like, oh, it was for the dance performance, I gave you the permission slip that I was gonna be there. And she was like,
I don't remember getting a permission slip from you.
That is like, all this anger from all these things that she did to me would always like bubble up inside me, but I was like, you know, she's my teacher, I gotta respect her, whatever. But then it was just like bubbling up inside me, and then she was like, I don't remember getting a permission slip from you. And I had enough. So I stood up. I was like,
You are such a bitch.
and then I grabbed my crap and I walked out of there. I just left the classroom. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this is the last time I'm taking this shit from you. You don't give this kind of shit to anybody else in the class. So I took my shit and I left. And then when I got onto the hallway, I just like bursted into tears, because like, I don't know, sometimes when I get angry, I just cry. I'm getting like really angry like thinking about this. Like my heart is like, I'm so mad. So yeah, and then I was like crying. I was like, so then of course, because I called my teacher a bitch,
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
I had to go to the principal's office. And honestly, I think the principal was like really chill, and he like really liked me or something. Like he told me that I just needed to like apologize to her, and that I would have to like get connections or something. But I never actually apologized to her. And I never got connections, because I guess he just forgot about it. Like he just didn't care. Like maybe he thought the teacher was a bitch too, so he was like, whatever. I don't know. But yeah. So since I never apologized to Mrs. Smith, sorry Mrs. Smith. I hope you forgave me for calling you a bitch. But it was true, and nobody else was gonna say it, because I don't know why she singled me out and was only a bitch to me. Like I probably wouldn't have even done that if she was a bitch to everybody, but like I just could not handle it anymore. So yeah, that was my story time about how I called my teacher a bitch. So don't call your teacher a bitch, don't skip school, stay in school, do your homework. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you like the story time, you want to see more, like this video. Go check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Bye!